draft show we did on Thursday night really was well received. I was proud of the group we had, the reporting and the analysis we had in studio with Tom Crean and the group we had in there. And we're going to do it again on Thursday night to start free agency live, right at the tip of midnight.
Well, tell us what you're going to break on the tip of midnight in free agency. Obviously the KD story or drama is what most people are watching in free agency. But what else is out there? We'll get to KD in a second. But what else is out there that could be shocking or surprising?
Well, I think just what's going to be shocking and surprising to people, I think fans may not be ready for it. The teams are ready for it. But the numbers people are going to see, the dollar amounts on players who are fairly marginal are going to be they're going to stand out to people because the rise in the salary cap, the salary cap jumps to $94 million, and teams are going to be spending. I think out of the gate, you're going to see big numbers. Restricted free agents who, players like Tyler Johnson, Alan Crabb, players who have not necessarily been starters on their team are going to get big numbers, big offer sheets that they're, Portland or Miami are going to have to match to keep. And players like Hassan Whiteside are going to get, he's going to get, a max offer sheet from somebody. I just think it's going to be, the numbers are going to, the story is going to be the numbers.
Yeah. You know what's interesting to me, Adrian? Obviously, it's great for the league because they're making money hand over fist in the new contract, and obviously it spikes next year as well. It's great for the players, no doubt, for the reasons why you just laid out. I don't think this is really good for the fans. If there's one thing that annoys fans probably more than anything, aside from just a complete lack of effort and being withdrawn from somebody's job mentally, is an average player having an exorbitant price tag next to his name. And while the activity is going to be fun, I sense that the PR kickback in a couple of years could be pretty bad for some guys, as you outlined, probably getting more than they should.
What's going to be really, and it's a great point, Brandon, and I think what teams and agents are really interested in is this spike in the salary cap. What the league wanted to do was a gradual rise over 3 years, so that it didn't jump to 94 in 1 year. That way, you sort of have like a group in this particular free agent class, just by dumb luck for the most part, that's because they're free agents this year are going to benefit. Next year in 17, the cap goes up a little more, but then in 18, 19, there's going to be players who are free agents who will not get paid like the guys right now are going to get paid, who may be better players and more productive, and they're going to say, hey, wait a minute, that guy's making that. Why am I not getting that? And I think the impact on chemistry on teams, the impact in the locker room, I mean, we know guys are going to measure where they are compared to their peers, and how this impacts locker rooms, teams. I think you're going to see like agents fired because guys are going to be upset that, hey, you can't get me that contract that he got 2 years ago. Well, the economics will change and this will flatten out a little bit. But the players union wanted to do the big spike in 1 year. That was the decision they made. Yep. And so I think it'll be interesting to see how this kind of like what the reverberations are over the next few years.
That's a good take. Talking to Adrian Wojnarowski, the Vertical, with us here on Tiki and Tierney, CBS Sports Radio.
Now, we talked about Kevin Durant.
Yeah, let's get some names. Let's get those rumors going here. Come on here, big boy. Let's go.
KD is going to get the max wherever he can get. Obviously, he can get the most if he stays, but that's beside the point because it doesn't matter really with him. What is the likelihood that he leaves Oklahoma City? Because we originally thought, though at least BT and I in this room, that there was no chance he was going anywhere. He's going to stay 1 year. He's going to opt out the following year, go wherever he and Russell Westbrook are going to decide to go. But it seems like that may not be the case.
No, Tiki, I think that Oklahoma City remains the front runner, and I think a strong front runner. I think going into meetings, I reported the other day the 5 teams besides Oklahoma he's meeting with. That's San Antonio, Golden State, Miami, Boston, and the LA Clippers. And then Oklahoma City will meet with them too. So wherever Durant goes, I'm told even if he left, he would do a 1-year deal somewhere. And then because economically it makes sense for him to do a 1-year deal and then do the longer deal after. It'll be worth more money because the cap goes up again next year. But Oklahoma City is a front runner right now. They're a strong front runner. Now listen, we all know things can get. July 1 comes in and somebody gets in the room. The Golden State guys get in the room with them, and the Spurs guys get in the room and they can be compelling. Pat Riley gets in a room with them, and things can change. And we saw that in LaMarcus Aldridge last summer. He went in thinking one thing and kind of came out. His view of things changed day to day over those few days. So you never know how someone's head can get turned around. There are no absolutes in this, and people change their mind. People go and that's human nature. But right now, Oklahoma City, I think, feels good about their chances, and I think Kevin Durant is going in there with an open mind, but understanding that the most likely scenario remains he does a one-year deal in Oklahoma. It's a 2-year deal with a 1-year player option on next year, and then he and Russell Westbrook next year will be free agents together. And then they'll probably take a longer view on what their next step is.
Woj, the way you ran down some big names here, Pat Riley, et cetera, how in the past have been able to sway public sentiment that's maybe a little counterintuitive to what we expected the free agent market to bear. And you never know what's going to happen. One name that you didn't say was Phil Jackson, and we all expected here in New York when Phil was hired, just the name would resonate to the point where he'd have enough juice to get these guys in the room. What is his plan? What is his pipe dream in addition to Durant, and what is his more plausible plan? What do you think happens with the Knicks?
Well, I know they would like to meet with Durant, and as I wrote the other day, there's several outside teams that aren't in that mix who may still get a meeting. Now, the Knicks, it's possible they still get one. As far as I know, that isn't likely right now, but it can change. But right now, the group that I reported on remains, the focus for him. And the one thing with Durant is he's focused on where can I go and win immediately? Where can you plug me? Where can I plug into? And that team is ready to win championships right now. Now, out of that group there, we talked about that he's meeting with, you can make a case for, you put him on the Warriors, you put him on the Spurs, you put him on the Clippers, and they're probably the favorite. Mm-hmm. Like the Warriors might be the favorite anyway without him. He goes back to Oklahoma, they might be the favorite in the West. You can make that case. Probably the only two teams where you'd say, hey, Miami, Boston, do they become the favorite to win the Eastern Conference without him? I think they become formidable against Cleveland, but I'm not sure you'd say, hey, he makes them the championship favorite. So, there's varying degrees of impact he'd have where he'd go. But those right now are the teams he's going to hear out. As for your second question there, Brandon, on the Knicks, I think they're going to kind of do